And we're
Well,
live.
there we go. There we go. We are live. Hello, everybody. It is Splat Chat episode 14, or 13, whatever the number is today. It's probably 14. I'm sure. Don't worry. I'll be waking up along the way. I am Keon, joined by three pals with me. It is Resident Hammy. I got Remix Firm with me as well, and our special guest for this segment, of course, is Havoc. Havoc, of course, fresh off of Squid Junction, or jokingly Super Jump 100. Havoc, first of all, before we even begin, how did you feel about taking on 100 super jumps, quote unquote?
After running 100 majors, I think my time to retire is finally here.
That is such a fitting statement from yours truly. First of all, but I'm glad you chimed in with that. Hammy and Fern, neither one of you want to chime in. How's morale today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I think most of us are in the preparing for Riptide stages right now. It's all making sure you're packed, getting those last minute weird purchases for things that you want to bring to the land, kind of get
Technical difficulties, are we live?
Yeah, the stream might be.
We should be live now. We should
Yeah,
we should be back on.
we cannot.
We should be back on. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah,
What's
we're
up?
back.
Did we go off on Twitch or just on Discord? I can't tell if we're like
Both.
fully offline.
well, YouTube we kept it rolling, but I think we're back. I pressed the go stream button. Sorry.
We're still back.
No.
Havoc is an image this time, so clearly it's working.
We're just gonna say that your computer is just ready to go for Riptide. You can tell how today is going for most of us here. I'm just coming off of a 13-hour not being from home segment from yesterday. So that's how I'm doing today. But now that we're back on Twitch side, I'm sure YouTube has been here us saying, what the heck are we talking about? I want to get started here. We got 2 turns before we talk about the big topic of the day here with Havoc here. And first of all, I know you just brought up Riptide here, Hammy. There was a local or a big event. Gridlock at Collision was played there. New York's very own Gridlock actually gained a much bigger venue at Collision there. They actually had 16 teams that participated, which to me, for I guess you could consider this a local or a LAN, is tremendous. But I want to ask the entire crowd here. Either of you guys can go first. Is 16 teams now at a point where they are now upgraded to LAN status, or are they still technically a local by standards?
See, that's a weird spot because size. First of all, I think they technically had more teams than Gommel. So you could assume that they've reached. Yeah, Gommel was it was either 12 or 15. Those are the numbers in my head. But the real question, I think, is how it's presented, because immediately putting it at Collision, I think, just by default makes it a major, because it's at a larger event with vendors, with like other events going on, with like production value in these kinds of things. But in terms of numbers, it's hard to say, because it's on like the lower end of what we'd consider a Splatoon major, because I think that 16 teams, that's 4 people per team at minimum. That's at least 64 players. That's pretty good for a game like Splatoon. So
Genuinely 16 teams to show up in a land that basically took place at a much bigger event is genuinely awesome to see. I personally would have loved to go to I would have personally loved to go to Gridlock if it wasn't for all the scheduling shenanigans I had to deal with that weekend. But I imagine that was a lot of fun. Just to give you guys the lowdown on how this one went. The winner, I believe, I'm gonna try to quick pull the standings here, was Ball's pick up there with Zero and others in the fray. Henlo was there as well, actually, along with Birch and Storm. So that was the group that I believe won it all there in Gridlock. But kudos to all the teams that showed there for that particular lane. I know for sure though with the lands that are coming up here, especially Riptide in a couple weeks from now. This is a good tournament to see in terms of turnout for the most part. And I'm sure 16 teams and Fern as well. Fern 16 teams is a great turnout nevertheless.
I mean, yeah, for like a Splatoon local, it's like not local, but like for a Splatoon, and it's like definitely a bunch of teams. Especially for just like the New York tournament for that period of time. I would push back at the fact that no matter what the name of the tournament is, an open level tournament with 16 teams and really 4 good ones is not a major. Even if it is Collision. But it is still a very cool tournament. Like, I think the top level player like high to top level player turnout for this one was pretty good. Like all things granted, like I mean we don't normally get like at Kaishals we don't normally get 3 high to top level teams every time. But no, I wouldn't call it a major. Definitely super hype event though. Like getting a spot at Collision is cool. I think there's a prize pool for this event, which was awesome. We barely have those. So, yeah. Even if it's not a major, it's still a good tournament.
I will mention too, not only was there 16 teams, but it's like what, 2 weeks before Riptide, so a lot of players didn't want to travel to both. And also Anime New York was that same weekend, and I know a lot of Splatoon players who already had tickets to that and went to that instead. So Gridlock at Collision had a lot of competitors pulling people away, so still managing 16 teams after kind of weeding out a lot of other players is nothing to scoff at. And if they're planning to continue to go to Collision, it allows people to plan further ahead because they'll know the dates ahead of time.
I think that's part of the thing though too. But again, 16 teams with such that short announcement turnaround was definitely really still awesome to see, and I gotta commend them for getting that event as successful as it was. But again, shout outs to ML Ball's team, Wilted Rose with the dub there from what I saw from the bracket perspective for the championship side. Give me a few seconds there, but yeah, that's they won the grand finals. That was a 3-1 over parity for that. That's Gridlock. I'm sure people will get the excitement there for Riptide here in a few weeks. I know I'll be seeing you in a couple weeks here, or next week rather. Hammy, it's not even 2 weeks from now. What a surprise! But there's there was another tournament that also took place. That was Barnacle Bash coming up here. And Barnacle Bash actually had some high-profile players that actually participated in this tournament. And I think one that stuck out to me, Fern, if I'm not mistaken, was Gray's pickup with an assortment of other players that wanted there, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry, which tournament?
It was Barnacle Bash.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's the PXG core. Well, it is just PXG plus Jared. So I mean, kind of no surprise that they're winning tournaments. I feel like another good noticeable team from this one is Dollar Store Drug Comp 2, with Chara, Kara, Jay, and Isabel. Jay and Isabel have been playing together with New Meta. I think Kara might have played with Chara a bit before this, but that team going on a pretty strong run, like taking down some Moonlight pickups, beating the Miki Bake or Raiki team, which is most sort of Vanguard plus Bake. And then also another like high level European team. So that team was pretty stacked, especially running double slider as they were, I think. So to me, that's kind of the storyline of the tournament. PXJ winning is like, oh, it's just PXJ winning a tournament. But yeah, I mean, like in terms of looking at that as predictors for the SQ finale, I mean, Goss, Jordan, you beating other high level groups. So
I think what's cool about this particular tournament as well is this also kind of serves as warm ups for others who are basically ready to go for the SendouQ season finale. Obviously, a lot more pickups here and there, but seeing a lot of the higher level teams that participated in this particular Barnacle and Bash is pretty fun to see overall, though. And I think that was the big thing out of this. I think to your point, the PXG pickup, because it's PXG, of course, winning that one first, and Chara's pickup getting second there, featuring some other known players with Jace Rock and others. Top of that, any other thing you guys want to note with Barnacle Bash, excuse me, before we move on right along?
Not that I can notice, other than the fact that I'm going to keep a little bit of information in the listeners' ears. The part where Fern said that, of course, we see the PXG pickup plus Jared winning a tournament. Nothing to see here. Let's keep that in our brains for a little bit longer before we move into not Super Jump. I did it too. It's not Super Jump. Squid Junction 100. When we're looking at that bracket later, we'll come back to that point.
I think this is a fun little segue. Any last thoughts on that, Fern, for Barnacle Bash before we go with the big story?
No, I think we can move on to
All right.
next few.
All right, next topic, and the guy and the legend here who has ran not 100 super jumps as much as that introduction would like to fool you guys. No, it's 100 Squid Junctions to the fray. Havoc's here. Havoc, how do you feel after running 100 actual Squid Junctions instead of 100 super jumps?
Well, Squid Junction has always been a passion project of mine. And so during the runtime of the event, I would be talking with my other TOs, and it's like, wow, yeah, it really is coming to an end. The winners finals is over, game 5. It's like, dude, there's only 3 more sets before we roll credits and then and send this tournament off into the sunset. So overall, it was a weird experience. Because again, this was 4.5 years of work, and now there's nothing on the horizon now. So,
when did it feel like it was time for Squid Junction 100 to basically ride off into the sunset? Was it just after did you feel like the 100th edition just kind of felt right, or was it it was just pretty much time for it to go?
So at this point in time, Squid Junction was on the way out, unfortunately, right? Registration numbers was down, stream numbers were down, and there was just tournaments upon tournaments all trying to take the same spot as us. And it's like, it's fine. We kind of read the writing on the wall. And it's like, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out on our accord. And it just so happened to be that the 100th edition was only like a month or 2 down the line. Because at this point in time, Q, who was the head TO at the time, he was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I've put in my time. I'll like to get out of the scene, enjoy it. A nice margarita on the beach, relax, retire and whatnot, right? And so we started looking at the calendar because this was Squid Junction 93, 94. Doesn't really matter, right? And I was like, Q, we got to do something. And he's like, I'm all ears. And I was like, we got to hit the triple digits. And he's like, fine. So the last couple of tournaments was very much a means to an end to Squid Junction 100. So
would it be accurate to say it was kind of the build up to the very end at that point, the last few? And then it's just like, all right, we're good.
I think given the fact that Q and I and the other TOs all had obligations coming up, for me, I started the semester, right? There's a lot going on. And even if we wanted to continue running Squid Junction, there was just no way that we could have feasibly done it, right? Because who's going to run it? No one's available, right? So it worked perfectly. Q and I go right back to school. It was my first week. I finished my first week already, right? But everyone else was just starting. So it was the perfect timing just to put a bow on it and just send it out pretty much.
That's awesome, and hey, congratulations on 100 Squid Junctions here, Havoc. I know the actual event. There's a lot of things we want to talk about, but I actually do want to touch point here. When did Squid Junction really all start? Was it just kind of like a passion project for when for adding, I think at the time, a Splatoon 2 tournament into the radar?
So originally, Squid Junction was an idea that I was floating when I was with a casual Splatoon server. They're not getting a plug today, don't worry. But I was the only competitive representation in this casual server. So my job at this point in time, and this was 2019, this is about 6 years ago now, right? In 2019, the only thing I was doing was just running tournaments to get people interested into competitive, right? And so me and another guy in the server, we were like, what if we ran a tournament, I don't know, it's called Squid Junction or something, just in passing, right? And that was our excuse me, and that was our working title, right? And somehow it stuck. And so when we decided to make it into a real thing, it was like, okay, Squid Junction 0, blah 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 blah. We'll just see what happens, and then the rest is history. Because I enjoy TOing. Given everything that's happened recently, I enjoy everything about TOing. I enjoy the environment. I enjoy the product. I just enjoy just I guess just the tournament feel and being behind that, right? Right. And that's what kind of powered me through for 4.5 years.
That's awesome. Any memorable moments of Squid Junction throughout the 100 installments or anything even before Squid Junction became a thing?
How much time do you have?
If you want to do the TLDR, like maybe the top 3 moments for you, that'd be awesome.
So we'll just hit on the big ones, right?
Yeah.
First Squid Junction with the prize pool was Squid Junction 2, all the way back in February 2020, right? And at
Wow.
this point in time, I did not know what I was doing, to be honest. I was just here for the ride, I'm a stupid Tito. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, what the heck I'm doing, right? And so Leotis, who used to play Squiffer back in Splatoon 2, was like, yeah, man, I'll give you 50 bones, right? Have fun. And so that was the first prize pool, Squid Junction. And there was way more people that signed up, and it was a panic fest. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was a memorable in the fact that it was a big step up for me, was incorporating money. The second one would be Squid Junction 40, because that was the first, if you want to call it a major, quote unquote, right? We had FT Win, we had Crush Soda, we had a team from Japan, Fiesta, right? We had big names come into this tournament for a $200 starting prize pool, right? That's when Dapple really stepped up their efforts in production and the stream and whatnot. We got the rebrand, we got Golden Squid Junction, we got the badge, the prize pool, like I said earlier, and the viewership as well. The viewership, I think we broke 100 viewers for the first time ever. I think we actually got to like 200 or something like that. I don't know. It was a lot, right? And then I guess the third moment would have to be Squid Junction 100, and for the reasons I said earlier, right?
Of course. For sure. Was Squid Junction a standalone tournament series before Dabbles reached out?
Yes, it very much was a grassroots, rinky-dink production from me and a couple other pals, right? I think if you look back, because on the Squid Junction Twitch, sometimes I'm still logged in on Twitch and that, but if you look back at the VODs, the VOD, I guess, the only one that survived is Squid Junction 1. And you can very much see the production quality. It's very much our second edition. So, but yeah, Dapple Productions, after 8 tournaments, I reached out to Alice, the lead organizer for Dapple, because Alice was subtweeting, hey, we really want to break into the NA scene. And I was like, okay, let's not play any games. So I DM Alice for asking if they want to do a collaboration, and the rest is history.
That's actually really funny, because you actually just read my mind for your next question. When did Dapple, around what Squid Junction, or even just a time frame, like when did Dapples come into the picture? Where did you kind of wanted to build that Squid Junction up to what it was with Dapples?
So it was August of 2020 was when we officially partnered with Dapple. And this was going to be around, Squid Junction 13, 14. So in the lifespan of the tournament, it was fairly early when we started getting brought on board with Dapple Productions, which, looking back at it, is like, yeah, whatever we were doing then was exactly what we needed to do, right? And so we went to Dapple because at that point in time, IPL had a different tournament. I think it was called Proving Grounds or Testing Grounds or something like that. And so we were basically pulling the same audience from Proving or Testing Grounds, right? So at that point in time, it didn't make sense to join IPL. So we went to the next org that was available as like, hey, do you want us? You know? So Dapple Productions very much was it was an incredible opportunity. We got streamers. That was the hardest thing. They had a plethora of streamers, a plethora of commentators, right? We had 9 on. We had God, we had K-Bot on at one point too, right? And then we have all the other talented commentators. There's too many to count, just including Fufu, just including Falco, right? Just those are just a few of the many that were on Squid Junction that we were very thankful we had an opportunity to work with them on, right? And including the production, like I said, with the stream, we went from rinky dink to actually having stingers and a scoreboard that actually updates in real time. No one's changing the text box on the screen, you know. But most importantly was advertising, because there's a lot of people that were within Dapple's sphere, and Dapple's mostly an EU organization. But my time TOing made me realize that, yeah, the Europeans will stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning to play a tournament. So it worked out in the end.
I absolutely love the turnout. I'll talk more. I'll bring up some more questions about your TO experience towards the end here. But But I want to talk about Squid Junction 100. I was about to say Super Jump 100, by the way. So don't worry, I'm gonna make that mistake throughout the session here today. Squid Junction 100. So what kind of went on behind the scenes with the crazy amount of production value, or the build up to what was effectively the last installment of Squid Junction?
So, like I said, we knew that this was going to be the last tournament.
Mhm.
There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We knew in early June even, that we were done after 100 events, right? So we had 2 months to come up with a strategy and to come up with an advertising plan to make this event as good as it can be, right? One of the big things that I noticed from Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever was the song that we sent out, right, from the cover with Milana and whatnot. That was purely an Alice idea. Alice was like, "Hey y'all, I have a crazy idea," and they're like, "We're all ears." And I was like, "What if we got someone to do a cover of this song?" And they're like, "Okay, sure, if you can make it work." And then the Pinky, who is our production assistant with Dapple Productions, we were like, yeah, this is gonna be the last Squid Junction, and Pinky's like, I got you, right? I handled most of the tweets and whatnot, and just the outreach, the advertising, pretty much, since I still have a large follower base to advertise to. I still have +3 access, so I would put my tweets in +3 general or whatnot. Hey, y'all should play. I heard you need SendouQ points to qualify for the final. Hello, you know. So, but yeah, we had a game plan well in advance, and at least to my knowledge, no one who ran a weekly has ever had a send-off tournament like we did, or had the production for the send-off tournament. So it was also an essence of, we will be a pioneer in this regard, is like, for a long-standing tournament, this is how you properly send it off, right? And maybe it'll catch on, who knows? Maybe the production was higher than it should have been or whatnot, but everyone enjoyed it. Everyone was like, hey, we'll go crazy this time because we know there's nothing after this.
Not to steal any more questions here, CKK. I know there's a poster that was posted in the Dapple's either Blue Sky or Twitter, it might have been both, that was drawn by Cater, and of course all the credits there. If you're able to bring that up while I ask the next question, that'd be awesome, because that poster, by the way, was amazing to see here. But more importantly, for Havoc, I know you mentioned a couple times when I brought up the question there, is like you guys kind of knew that that you're about to, that 100 was the last send off, and maybe you guys would be the pioneers for big send off events like that. Did it also help though that you guys kind of knew when the last installment was, and the extra prep that that was needed to make Squid Junction 100 just look awesome became an advantage for y'all?
Definitely. Just because We had August 23rd on the calendar.
There it is, by the way.
Yeah. I catered an amazing job with that. Yeah, we had the date penciled on the calendar, right? And so the difference, because again, we are a bi-weekly tournament. Most of our efforts happens on the second week, right? We are 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, right? So while we were running bi-weekly tournaments, we had August 23rd in the back of our head. They're like, oh, in the lead up of this, the trailer needs to be up and ready by Squid Junction 99, right? That's the thing we're going to play on. We want to have the song done. We need the credits done. And so we had a lot of time, and there's a lot of drafts of the credits and whatnot, right? So it was more of it wasn't like our main dedication, but because we gave so much time, we were able to really flesh out all of the ideas that we wanted, right? The credits, I really wanted the credits. I remember seeing, I like all the majors have them. Not saying that Squid Junction 100 is like a super major or a major or anything like that, but it's bigger than an average. It was bigger than an average tournament, right? So, and given what it was, given this its standing, right, it was fitting, right? So the credits, we spent a couple weeks working on Cactus. My goat got all the clips for that. So he posted videos like, hey guys, this is just a quick little project I was working, or this was the quick project that we were working on. Let me know how it goes. And I opened the link, and it's an 8-minute long credits. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. So he's honestly kind of goated for that. So
Yeah, that was definitely awesome there. And and I guess next question before we have to talk about the actual tournament itself here, was it all worth it? Was it all worth getting the stuff done in 2 months versus, let's say, you guys kind of knew that the next that Squid Junction 100 was gonna be over by like Squid Junction 99 or something like that, and you have like less time to give it this grand send off.
yeah, more time definitely was needed, and I think we are all thankful that we did give it right that time, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm glad to hear that's the actual event. But now we gotta talk about the important thing here, which was the result of Squid Junction 100. And now this was kind of the thing, as you noted there too. Hey, you need the SendouQ points. This is kind of the tournament that the big send off tournament here of Squid Junction 100 was the one to go. Of course, your first place finishers here was Mickey Reiki Pickup and Tess Mignon. If I hope I pronounced that one right. FT Win finishing second there. You got. It just dawned on me that why the team is named Silk Song, by the way. Silk Song finishing there with that pickup with Curial Shell and Omega. 44 different teams into the mixture. I want to ask the rest of the group anything that kind of stuck out to you in terms of the results.
So I think let's just address the elephant in the room. Who got second place, right?
Yep.
We're talking about the NA team that has dominated the scene since 2018, right? There have been some pockets of time where it was Starburst. That was the best team in North America. We've had pockets where it was Jackpot was the best team in North America, right? But it's an open field right now. There's, at least with my loose connection to the scene, there's really not much. There's no team that's really dominating the scene right now. If you want to talk about Milky Way, I haven't seen the team play under the Milky Way name, right? The players might have played together in the tournament, but that's not been on my radar. The only team that comes to my radar that's branded accordingly is Moonlight, right? And for someone who can barely keep up with the scene just because I'm busy, I don't see Moonlight as the team that's dominating North America. So when FT Win came into the tournament and it was 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-1, 3-0, 2-0, right? It's like, okay, is this the FT Win that we know back, right? With Sam as their fourth player. Is this going to be the fourth time FT Win comes back and dominates the scene, right? And so the first big surprise for me was Winners Finals when Silksong or Omega's group took them to a game 5, right? And just for, the roster's on the screen right now, but Kara, Isabel, Omega, and Delta, right? Like, that's a team that they're good players. You don't think of them as taking FT Win to a game 5, right? you know? But FT Win did pull it out in the end with a very dominating Mahi Mahi Zones game. They basically said, hey, you had any doubts about us? Watch us knock out this game in less than a minute. And just light work. Packed them up, sent them off to losers, right? Our tournament stream, the way it worked out, we were streaming Tae Mignon pretty much the entire time, other than Winners Final. Just from the way that the games set themselves up, right, on our schedule, they just happened to be in every single one, right? So you could see Tae Mignon as they eked out a win against Jared's pickup, the number 1 seed Jarogue, right? That said, game 1, if I believe correctly, Jarogue won pretty handedly. And it's like, okay, Jared somehow, or the Jarogue somehow got into loser's bracket. It happens to the best of us, right? We have off sets, right? But these are high-level, top-level players that know how to bounce back mid-tournament, right? Tae Mignon, game 3, takes the win. The team that I thought was going to win the entire thing is out of the tournament in losers quarters, I was surprised, actually. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think, Fern, are you gonna chime in something before I hopped in on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think to me the elephant in the room is Jarouge at 4th place, because like, excluding just how good they've been recently, this team is the greatest player of all time. Jordan, who Fuzzy thinks is the best player we have right now. Yu is the best backline in the West. Jared is Jared. Them at 4th place in a bot. Okay, I know it's like a big tournament, but it's still a bi-weekly. It's like insane. Like, I mean, the teams in front of them, like, we're talking about like FT Win has like been dominating the scene for years. I mean, like in 2025, you basically don't beat Gray. I mean, I think this is like the 2nd tournament he's lost this whole year.
I think it might.
Right?
I think it might have been, but I do recall. But Gray's was on a dominant tear throughout this year here in Splatoon as well. Like just Gray, any team you have Gray with, or Gray leading the team, it's going to lead to a lot of first place results, and I think this is one of them where it didn't show.
Yeah, I mean,
the team that they were fighting were staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning. This was a French team that were playing in the early morning. So
yeah, I mean, like, and I personally like, I like Kit Kat a lot. Kind of maybe underrated, like French Pencil. They stream. Their name is Kit Kat, which is really funny. But Kayano are not really like. I mean, they're good. I don't think you think of them as major winning players. And if you don't watch Paddling Pool, you probably don't think of them that much in general. Especially Kit Kat. Kit Kat's kind of like a weekly warrior, I think. So I don't know if everyone on that team, or if Miki and Raiki just had like insane days, but this is a generational losers run. They lost in like what, winners round 4, like winners semis, and then they beat Bad Villain. They beat Gray's team, Jarouge. They beat Omega, Delta, Kara, Yoshel, Isabel, obviously super stacked. That's Moonlight players, Delta from Bet, Isabel, SWS qualifier, Yoshel is Yoshel. Then they beat FT Win twice. The second set was a 3-0, like the bracket reset was 3-0. On way worse, like on a time zone that should have I mean, I think all these players like play evening tournaments relatively frequently, but like you're still gonna play worse at like 2 a.m. than you would at 8 p.m. That like if you would show me the seeding, like their C3, like clearly it's a very stacked team. They have Miki and Raiki on it. But like if you showed me this team prior to the tournament, I'd be like, yeah, top 8, like maybe top 4. So
Has any? I mean,
insane.
has any? Let's be real. Has any team actually played really that well at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in general? I mean, unless you're a night owl, I'd imagine that like the performance is going to start slowly seeping in until you're like, okay, I need to start going to bed quick. Can anybody? Yeah.
I mean, Gray.
Yeah, I feel like
Gray and you
just
are
in general,
still playing.
yeah, like the European players are accustomed to it. I think they've had to
to some
endure it so long, staying up late to play in a lot of North America catered events, that like they have that advantage. Because you look at some of these events where, you know, American players have to wake up super early or stay up super late, and they're like, immediately it's on blue sky. Like, why do I have to wake up at 5 a.m. for a tournament? Why do I have to stay up until 2 a.m. for a tournament? Meanwhile, I don't see a single European player complain that they have to stay up till like 3 in the morning for a tournament, because they're just like, yeah, that's how video games work.
Having to play in a global tournament can always lead to some time zone shenanigans. I mean, it's actually kind of absurd the amount of European teams that actually did show up for Squid Junction 100. There were also a few other. There was also a German team, an old German team that actually participated there too. Which, I mean, I guess the phrase that reminds me of, if you make it the last tournament of the series, people will show up, and you got basically everybody almost what feels like showing up there.
It also does help that Dapple does a lot of EU catered advertising and events in general, so that a lot of the EU crowd, even if they don't play in as many Squid Junctions, they still have their eyes on it, and so it makes it a bit easier to kind of see that event and be like, yeah, sure, you know, it's one night, like might as well stay up for it, because you know it has all the fanfare, it's the big flashing lights to say, hey, this is the last one, you know, don't miss it, because you know there's a prize pool, it's a good time, high production, like there's no reason to not just stay up if you're able to.
Oh, definitely. And I know there are other, and I know for a handful of teams, especially F2, which I believe we will be likely seeing them here in later this week. Actually,
yeah.
For some just warm ups, we're getting more tournament performances in. At least with this tournament, though, as you mentioned, the big story being Rouge, which is the great pickup, finishing 4th. Tim Mignon winning that one at the end at first. Maybe you could make the case that this could be a sign of potentially things to come a week later. If I'm not mistaken, this one being ran on the 23rd, if my dates are very much correct. But in essence, is there anything really you could take away from this past week from this tournament alone coming into SendouQ's season finale?
For me,
wait, Cammy, you go first. You go first, Cammy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say the one narrative that scares me a little is I'm enjoying the narrative of Gray finally not making a placement, because we've kind of had this thing where everyone's putting him on a pedestal saying that he's the best player in the West, and realistically he still is. But you know, it's nice to see that he can fall into 4th place, but at the same time, the team that won that event had a Japanese player on it. So there's definitely going to be people who go, oh, but see, well, they had a Japanese player, so that's why they won, because the Japanese players are stronger than the West. So I'm scared of what the narrative may become if people really emphasize the one Japanese player on a team full of French players. Because, I mean, I've already been vocal about it on Beat before. French players are just built different. In every esport I watch, the French players are just better. And in this case, when you have 3 French players who are playing at the top level paired with a Japanese player who wants to play with them, and, you know, despite the time zone issues of the 4 of them playing a North American centered tournament, they still win it. You know, I'm curious to see how people are going to spin this narrative, especially as we are seeing more Japanese players opting to play in some Western events, because they're kind of enjoying that crossover and the change of pace to kind of play with some of our players.
Anything you wanted to bring up, Havoc, with any takeaways?
I just think there's more parity than people would think. Because, like I said, right now, NA at the current moment, or I guess this is going to be the Western scene as a whole for SendouQ, right? Is that there's not really a team. We have the best player in the West, right? Or we have the best backline, right? But like as an actual like teams, again, there's really not a team dominating the scene right now, to my knowledge, right? So going into SendouQ, it's like we have the few established teams, right? But we also have a bunch of pickups, right? And so because there's not a dominant team that plays together consistently in like an area cup or like a super jump or whatever, right? Is that maybe these pickups can take advantage of how open the field is and get a good run, right? And get into maybe losers finals, even top 5, when no one really like thinks it, right?
I think I think to also build upon some of those narratives from Squid Junction 100, kind of piggyback off of you, Havoc is. I think for especially all the SendouQ finales, and then also where PXG was with great pickups. You have what the great pickups, and then it's just a whole mashup of different teams into the fray. With Gray's team kind of finishing fourth, it kind of leaves the door open for other teams to possibly punch their way through and see if they can grab that top spot. And I know that'll probably be one of the bigger things people will keep an eye on coming into SendouQ season finale. Spoilers, we'll be talking about that later in Splat chat. But I mean, I think you're likely going to be right here, especially with there's so much of a mashup there in out of the top teams in the West. I feel like anything could be up for grabs at any given week now.
Mhm.
Right. All right, and I think we got all the takeaways we could get out of Squid Junction 100 here. So that was Squid Junction 100. That's big, grand hurrah, the grand farewell celebration here. I wasn't joking, when I said I had some questions remaining for you. How do you feel? How do you feel now as a TO's perspective? How do you feel not having to run another Squid Junction, or I guess any other another tournament into the fray?
It's weird. I have so much free time now. What the heck? No planning, no coordination. I get my Saturday evening back. It's like, what am I gonna do with all this time now? Oh my goodness.
That's
Now,
I'm gonna be real. That's kind of how I felt after I graduated college. Admittedly, is I got my time back.
the real question is how many weeks until you get the jitters where like I need to TO something, I need to start planning, I need to run something, and then you get jumped back into it, you start TOing for other DAPL events, or you get pulled into IPL and you start the cycle all over again.
I'm not going to disclose that information as of now.
I don't blame you whatsoever there. But a few other perspectives there. Was it rewarding as a TO to just run as many Squid Junctions as you had? I mean, I've actually asked that question before, but I may as well ask it again.
Well, the number of tournaments never was the main like draw for me.
Yeah.
It's not like I want to go and run 100 tournaments, because if I was running tournaments just to say I ran 100 tournaments, then I'm a freak. That's weird. I'm sorry. But I enjoyed doing it. I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of people. I would like to think I created a lot of memorable moments for other people, right? Through the prize pool Squid Junctions, or just it might be someone's first weekly win, right? Or someone's first good performance. Someone can put this Squid Junction 5th place in their +3 suggestion, right? There's a lot of people that have like used us to move up in the scene, and that's exactly what I love to see, right? Because any advancement in the scene, whether it's as a player showing off this game or as a TO organizing the events to show other people off, that's where it is, right? That's where I get the most enjoyment for. So 100 tournaments, 100 memories. It's great.
What are you gonna do? my last question to you: what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna plan on doing now that you're no longer going to Squid Junction? What do you think your Saturday evenings will look like down the road?
I'm probably gonna move on to like IRL stuff, right? So maybe start taking on music more seriously or whatnot, or just have more time to do that. The Saturdays might be full again with something. I don't really know. Who knows at this point in time, right?
Hopefully, maybe less TOing, less Splatoon, more things you want to do.
There might be an instance where I come back, but I think there needs to be the right time and the right group of people to work with. But I'm really just like, whoever is open to having some experienced 4.5-year-old TO, then just give me a call on Discord or something. I don't know. I'm just here.
appreciate your chill attitude and your chill mantra overall. We're gonna start moving over to the SendouQ season topics, but I think they're gonna have a guest change. So, Havoc, last plugs you want to have before we transition that over.
You can find me on jumphavoc on both Blue Sky and Twitter or X or whatever. Right, that's where I will be on most of the time. I actually am on nothing else. Someone, Chara, I made a tweet about my Twitch. So do not follow me on Twitch. But yeah, Twitter, Blue Sky, jumphavoc. Discord is jumphavoc too. I made it pretty consistent. That's all the plugs I have, pretty much.
Appreciate having you on, and hopefully we'll see what your future Saturday evenings are. And thank you for the 100 Squid Junctions overall. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. We'll see you guys here after the break to talk SendouQ finale here. We're gonna have a new guest filling in, so we'll see you guys afterwards.
All right, it's break time. Yay. Remember, guys, mics are hot. Mics are still hot. We do not turn them off for these breaks. How's chat doing?
Not only
turn
are
on
we
this timer.
still hot, our webcams are still on too. So this.
No. I swapped it over. Don't worry. They can't see.
We see the webcams.
You see the webcam. That's different. That's different. No, you can't. There you go. Yeah. No, let's make sure to go get your waters, get your predictions ready. I'm going to try and swap stuff. And if it breaks, the stream will go down again. That'll be fun.
I think you said get your predictions ready. We already sent you the predictions.
Yeah.
I was going to say, right. Wait a minute.
You're right. Like, I'm sincerely hoping things don't break.
That's usually how it goes, though.
Right? Yeah, right. Yeah, let's try. We got Mystic coming in. Mystic, are you here?
Yep.
Mystic.
I'm here.
How are you?
You said the mics are hot?
Yeah, mics are hot. Don't spoil anything. No spoilers.
So we can't start.
No, we can release Havoc, or as Clamblitz mentioned in the chat, we can talk about Squid Junction Jr.
Squid Junction Jr.? What's Squid Junction Jr.?
Clamblitz chiming that in real quick on that. We love you, Clamblitz, if you can hear us.
I'm a big Clamblitz fan.
I think we should have had Clamblitz on the community.
We have Brinewater Springs, Clamblitz, Tower Control, Squid Junction.
There's a guy whose name is Brian. Like, there's a player in low level whose like actual username is Brian.
Yeah, named Brian Water Springs. And then like other people with like weapon names too.
Yeah, I mean V Heavy's been around for a while.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna sign off here. Thanks for talking.
Appreciate you,
so much, Havoc.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you, Havoc.
Bye-bye.
Fun being a real man. No longer bound to the chains of Splatoon.
Okay, this is the part I'm scared of, guys.
What's up? The break's over?
No, the part I'm scared of is like making sure these predictions don't like explode in my face.
You know that when you say it out loud, you know they're going to explode in your face.
Well, I'm not gonna say it out loud, but the issue. But OBS likes
You really trying
crashing.
to will into existence?
I'll
Come
be right
on
back.
now.
I want soft spoilers. Did any of us predict the same team to win
Absolutely, you guys
the
did.
finale?
But not all of
Okay.
you. But not all of you.
Okay, good. It'd be funny if all of us voted the same team.
Spoilers.
Oh
I
yeah,
said I
I should
wanted
have spoiled
In my
that.
spoilers.
heart, I
That's what we
wanted
just
to pick
got.
someone else.
No, this is when I popped the parasail prediction. This is
Did Parasail top 12?
They're- two teams in the top 12 aren't gonna sign up, so Parasail's gonna get bumped in. And now that all four of them have played a finale before, they're gonna win. That's how this
I
works.
believe it. I believe it.
Full agreement on this one. Full agreement.
It's gotta suck that you just like do like the SendouQ season finale and just like instantly get knocked out.
Well, that's a nice part. You
It's
can't
actually-
get instantly knocked out.
No, the plot twist is that we got the official signups, and it actually doesn't list the usual teams there, and then all of a sudden, boom, a random low level team shows up in the SendouQ season finale.
This is my son.
Hi, son.
Meanwhile, upcurrent like showing up everywhere. Usually just like top seed before like a tournament starts.
I just have an official word with you, Twitch chatter said that name themselves after map modes. If Splat Zone's account exists, we're gonna have a debate. We're gonna have to debate on whether we need to kick Splat Zones out for having too many Splat Zones only tournaments.
Bumped my camera down.
Flat underscore zones. That's probably my alt Twitch account. I'm kidding.
Your secret alt Twitch account is Splat underscore Zones?
I wish. I'm
Y'all.
joking.
People have been making a lot of accounts recently. I'm still thinking about the podcast the other day when Havoc joined in the Squid Junction account, and Popgun assumed it was just somebody like pretending to be Squid Junction.
Yeah, because there's a new guy named
Like-
Tower Control roaming around now.
But yeah, Popgun's like, all right, how old is this account? Like, if you're not 4 years old, I'm banning you.
That's so funny.
Plan Blitz started a movement.
Yeah, I did consider making an alt account called Splatoon Tourney 13.
We're gonna have a word with you, Hammy, later. I'm gonna get Falco. I'm getting Falco staff and told him to have a chat with you about.
I did.
Splatoon
I think I asked Falco if I could have Splatoon Tourney 1.
You should have given it. What the hell? It's funny.
We should have just started using Splatoon 21 to stream.
Someone give you the creds.
If you find me a Riptide next week, Splatoon 21 will I will will something into existence for you about Splatoon 21. Spoilers.
What do you mean spoilers? The pictures of the stickers weren't even sent.
Exactly.
Falco. It's not even a
Exactly.
spoiler.
It ain't. Well, I guess that's true. It ain't a spoiler. It ain't a spoiler anymore.
It is the funniest sticker of all time. Not even just putting the image, actually taking a screen grab of the T-shirt with the guy in it and everything. Like,
It's crazy. It's crazy. But enough talk about it, y'all. Have at you. We're still live, right? CKK is gonna make us look silly here in a few seconds.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
okay,
he's gonna
we're
make us look silly here. 2 seconds. Don't worry. I think that we gotta get the elephant out of the way. Here, Mystic has joined the fray for whatever we need to talk about with Splatoon 2013. Mystic, how's morale, by the way?
My morale is like absolutely fantastic. How's everyone else?
Another day for me.
Yep.
we're doing good. Again, pre Riptide jitters, so we're vibing.
I still couldn't believe that Riptide is that soon. I thought MomoCon was last month all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got a SendouQ season 8 finale to talk about. So we all know that season 8 is about to be wrap up, or the season itself is about to wrap up. Was it on this Saturday?
Yeah, just wrapped up recently.
It wrapped up this Sunday, actually.
Well, okay, yes, but the finale is going to be
this Sunday. But yeah, the tournament starts Saturday.
I thought it was Sunday for some reason. I might have gotten my dates wrong, but either way, it's gonna be wrap it up this weekend. Anything that kind of that kind of stuck out to you, to y'all here as we start to look at the users and the teams that are projected to qualify here for the season finale?
The team Heavy Metal. Let's talk about that. Those players are strong, and they literally qualified before Moonlight did. They got in the top 12 before Moonlight.
Yeah.
So
Can I glaze Heavy Metal for a bit?
yeah, you can.
Yeah, so anyway, this team barely beat up Moonlight by 2 points. Which honestly, like the next team after Moonlight is like 30 points behind. So just beat out Moonlight. So like probably the lowest seeded team in this event. I think you can expect them not to do anything crazy, but this team made alpha bracket in Super Jump 5. They were high up in SWS qualifiers. I think one of those times playing under the name No Vanity, and then they've rebranded back to Heavy Metal. This team is on the right. Like this team could conceivably blanks. I think they could conceivably beat HGFG, who have been underperforming. They could conceivably beat Paris Saint Glyphis. This is a sleeper pick for like not finishing last. I don't think that they're not making like top cut, like they're just not. But I believe in them. I think they deserved the qualification spot.
CKK, what?
I said if they take the game, that'd be like amazing. Even
I think they're taking games. They're good. I don't want people thinking they're like some random team that just somehow qualified. But
Yeah, I'm thinking back to our SendouQ season 7 predictions where it's like, okay, we have our top cut and then we have our bottom teams down here kind of fighting for those spots. So like they're definitely gonna probably take games and they have contention here. It's just a different story. They're not gonna come first place. They're not beating out some of these way top level teams, but like, you know, they're here to prove themselves and prove that them qualifying was not a fluke.
yeah.
I want to go back to if CKK can also show the leaderboard for the teams. You gotta look at the points. Look at the points that separates 6th and 13th place, which was Moonlight.
Yeah.
6 points, if I do my math correctly. Around 6 points made up the difference, and it determined 6 to 12, and Moonlight being the odd one out by a mere almost less than 2 points coming into this. And yes, you guys heard that correctly. Moonlight finishing 13th. They're basically, I believe, on the wait list if one team is not able to make the invitational. But that is kind of crazy to see the point difference between 6th to 13th.
Yeah, it was super close this time.
And
Fair enough. I mean, any teams that kind of sticks out to you out of the top 12 that we saw?
For me in particular, like I'm curious to see what like the Hypernova kind of pickup will do. In particular, like like those are my goats right there. Like, I'm sorry, bias aside.
Yeah.
But, I'm curious to see what they are gonna do. And more importantly, the Jordan team. That is another team that like I'm curious to see like who's gonna like come out on top between like Jordan and Gray, because like I know those two teams are probably just gonna be gatekeeping top two. Let's be like blatantly honest here. Like they're probably going to be gatekeeping top two. So it's gonna be really hard for like these teams to like just be able to like make something happen. But like if upsets even happen, like I would be genuinely shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked at all coming out of what we saw the top 12 boards. But no, we do. I know. A lot of people are looking for that. Was it the half hypernova pickup there? Plus Fishy and Captain Happy rounding out that group out of 11th place there. So, but we'll get to that there in a bit. The other teams that also qualified there, I'm going to start from bottom to top since since it actually kind of worked out well. You also had Frutella, Frutella and Blanks. By the way, I had to make sure my eyes were working. Also, literally tied for the same amount of points.
Yeah.
Either way, 9th and 10th respectively. By the way, for Blanks and Frutella, and out of this board, I've seen Frutella in a handful of tournaments. They produced some decent decent results, and I've seen Blanks. I think in a major, especially the previous Super Jump, but I'm not at all surprised that they qualified here out of SendouQ season finale.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we wanted to just go bottom to top, like, we could probably talk about all of them.
Yeah, that's what it's plan.
The Hypernova team. I mean, I think Hypernova, Synapse, and very proven in these kinds of tournaments. They've been top 4ing stuff a ton recently, most like Super Jump. The Fishy and Captain Happy like has also been pretty active, like clearly strong player. I think it's kind of gonna come down to like maybe Fishy, whether or not Fishy can deliver at like the level of the rest of the team. I mean, Fishy's very good, like excellent squeezer, +2 player, like clearly very skilled, but I don't think they're often thought of as like a major contending player. So they're probably gonna have to like step up in terms of level if they want to like take this team to the spots that Hypernova players can be at. But like still, I think this is a very good pickup. If you saw these people in a weekly, you'd like be like, oh, they're gonna be in grands. The Frutella is a underdog pick for top 4. Maybe not even underdog, a good pick for top 4. But like a underdog pick for grands. That we've seen this team in the Splat World Series. They beat Milky Way. When they like came 3rd and then came 4th and then 3rd and then 4th and then 1st, really. Or no, was it 3rd and then 1st in the SWS qualifiers?
3rd then 1st, yes.
Yeah, 3rd then 1st. Punchy, insanely good players. Slurpcat playing more and recently like has always been very good. This is the best team in Germany. Like, I think they have like a Swiss person or two, but whatever.
One of them is Belgian, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Punchy is Belgian. I forgot.
Yeah.
The number 1 crab main in the West.
Yeah, I agree that Frutella's definitely going to be one of those. They're going to kind of throw a wrench in it because I think that from what I've seen from Frutella, I mean, I don't know enough about them. I've only seen them in a couple of events, but they do seem fairly inconsistent in the sense that like they're taking down teams they probably shouldn't be, but then also it does seem like they are underperforming in other scenarios. So I kind of agree with you, say, where, you know, they could be an underdog pick for top 4 or even not an underdog pick, but I could see them getting top 4 easily, but I could also see them like not even getting that top 4. And so they're kind of hard to place for me because it really depends. And have they been playing with different rosters as well? Have them kind of shifting those members around?
I mean, they had not Jay, but I cannot remember.
Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix. Oh my god, why can't I remember Phoenix's name? They had Phoenix playing with them in the SWS qualifiers, at least. Like, I think they've swapped around like a player or two. I think largely this has been the core with Punchy. Crowny, Slurpcat, whose username is currently Yellow Shy Guy. But that's Slurpcat. Or Slurp Chad, depending on like when you learned about them. And then Aaron. Aaron is kind of underrated. Super good shooter player. Like, this has kind of been the same core most of the time.
For sure. There, I think it was pretty much the same core. I definitely see Punchy and the rest of Frutella pretty much run most tournaments that they participate in.
Mm-hmm.
More notably, so but otherwise, other teams that also moving a little bit further up. I know we literally just mentioned Healthy Diet Food Groups. They're 7th in that leaderboard so far. I think we've saw them a couple times. I still vividly remember the season 6 finale where they pretty much made their way to top 4 in a crazy showing there. But then basically reality then arrived in season 7, so they're back here once again in season 8. And I think I heard a commentary. Might have been Fern. Kind of a bit of a slide right now for Healthy Diet Food Groups, if I am not mistaken, in their current results.
Yeah, I mean, this, like, just in August, they've played, like, 2 tournaments, essentially, Hayden instead of Blopware. But, like, HDFG, probably the best they've ever looked was that top 4 in SWS. Since then, they've kind of been, like, not able to win. Like, they played weeklies, they haven't really been able to win them. Like, they've fell out of top 8 in the zone 44. I don't think they played in the zone. Maybe we haven't had one. Like, last SendouQ season finale, they got 7th. They just, like, I don't think they currently have the resume of this team can make, like, this team will go on another, like, crazy run in, like, this season. They just, like, kind of don't have the results for it. Like, you can't fully count them out because they did just, like, get 4th somehow 2 seasons ago. So they, like, it's not, I can't 100% be like, oh yeah, they're not going to do anything. But I think it's very doubtful that this team is going to have a similar result to season 6. On the,
I'd be shocked if
on the
they
other,
pulled it. Good.
yeah, what were you going to say?
Sorry, I'm looking at the page now, because it updated.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to make sure that we literally saw them at 13th like a few minutes ago, right? Moonlight?
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were looking at. Wait, who's missing here?
And even if we hit team all, so the reason why this was kind of a big surprise for us here is I think we clicked team unless we hit team all, but I saw 12th.
Well, no, everyone shuffled up. I think one of the teams disappeared because Frutella was 10th and now they're 9th.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. It might be one of the top.
And now, so the previous 8th place team is gone because Blanks is now 8th. So who was in 8th place? Do we remember? What? I'm trying to think back.
We
check actually, literally.
Wait a minute.
Right,
I need to see something. Wait, is it Easy MD? It was like a team Easy MD that was here.
Easy MD was the one that wasn't here. All right.
They were like a team. Hold up.
Easy MD went down to 13th.
How?
Oh yeah.
Yo,
Yeah,
someone just played it.
Wait, what the hell?
How did they tank their score?
They changed their score. Hold up.
They were in a SendouQ set that just happened forever. That was just happening forever.
In 4K.
Here, let me.
Wait.
No,
actually, we could see. We could see. Right? Like, can you not see?
They've only gained, the last time they lost SendouQ points was Thursday, August 21. Like, or Seb did. So.
What?
Yeah, their last result, or at least I'm looking at one of their players, was Barnacle Bash, which was today.
There's no way they lost SendouQ points from today.
Barnacle
right?
Bash?
Did they? No, it says they gained points in Barnacle Bash.
Barnacle Bash must have not concluded, and then either Slinky or Jump are watching the stream, and they're like, "Holy shit!"
Okay, it looks like so
did it.
Sebdark gained points, but the team might have lost points.
Yeah, well, yeah, you see Devin here because it's like an average of everyone, and Devin,
that's unreal.
Yeah, they played together and they wait.
Okay,
Didn't play bad,
I'm pulling up the VOD. I'm gonna pull up the VOD of us looking at the leaderboard earlier, so I can see what the scores were across the board. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the side by side. Okay, yeah, so that didn't change. That didn't change. None of the top 5 changed. Top 6 didn't change.
Isn't Yelp in our chat?
7. Yeah, so nobody else's scores changed. Everyone else's scores are the exact same. Like the top 12, like nobody. The only thing that changed is that EZMD lost a bunch of points.
Okay, so now we have breaking news. How did EZMD lose points in the middle of our big podcast? In our big show?
Splat chat.
Splat chat breaking news in the middle of the.
Wait, I was looking at the wrong part of the VOD. I was looking at the current part of the VOD. I wouldn't leave it back.
I'm still so confused because they did not go 0-2 here, right? That's not 0-2.
Wait, who are you looking at?
Yeah, EZMD lost
this is
20
Devin,
points.
Yeah.
They lost 20 points.
Huh?
To something.
Where did they lose the points from, though?
I don't know, but 12 minutes ago they were in 8th, and now they're in 13th.
Because Devin didn't play, and he only played in the sets that they lost. So Devin only counted.
I scrubbed back 12 minutes in the VOD, and I'm looking at it right now, and all of the scores are identical except EZMD. Like everyone else didn't lose or gain points.
Wait, so this is like worse than like 10 teams signing up mid podcast because that was like explainable.
we would see that made a lot more sense. And yeah, Hammy, you did confirm that we were not going crazy. We were not seeing things at all. We definitely.
Okay. It does seem like
now
because
it shows up in the results now, right?
The Barnacle Bash SendouQ thing went into effect today, even though Barnacle Bash was like last. Like what? Like last Friday, last Saturday, or something, right?
It was this past Saturday.
No, yeah, that's the thing is, I don't know why
on SendouQ it says
Barnacle Bash ended. Yeah,
on SendouQ it says Thursday, August 28th. So what the hell?
For
I guess their team actually went down because when they were winning sets, they had like the first 2 sets they won, they had. I assume they had Xnor in, and then subbed him out for the next 2, and so for the sets they lost, they had the team power.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, CKK, bring up the Barnacle Bash results while we're talking through this too.
Yeah, I'm looking at different players' seasons, and yeah, Barnacle Bash is marked as being today, even though it happened 5 days ago. Like even on other teams, because like say the number 1, like I looking at Gray, and Gray is marked as winning Barnacle Bash today, but also on the leaderboard their score didn't change. Their score is identical to how it was before the update. So only EZMD's score got changed, even though other people got credited for their wins and losses. Just now.
You know what? It's probably because they signed up as a team instead of because Gray's team was a pickup.
Yeah, Gray was a pickup.
Yeah.
So because EZMD signed up as a team just now, that's insane.
So
wait,
now
does that mean they make the final or not? Because they were.
This entire segment just got shot out the window at this rate, by the way.
Huh?
Moonlight top 4.
Means we have to talk about. Yeah, now we have to talk about Moonlight because they're in top 12.
Okay. As a host, I will make the executive decision. If you guys are cool with this. Let's talk about the teams that for sure made the top 5 before the EZMD shenanigans took place, and then we'll talk about the EZMD. I mean, is anybody really?
Let me try to contact. Hold on.
Are we really surprised by top 4 though? At the very least, let
me find that.
Teams that are listed there. We have that's basically the Gray's Riptide pickup, basically at number 1 and 2. If I'm not mistaken, someone please jog my memory on the team that was supposed to be number 2.
On Pathway.
Yeah.
Pathway, okay, thank you. And then 3rd is FT Win. 4th is basically half BXG plus Goss pickup. Are we at all surprised by that top 4?
I mean, Pathway being there is kind of would be unusual if this was like real tournament seeding.
Yes.
I think you'd
Yeah,
expect
that's-
like Frutella or something to be up there. Maybe this like 6 a.m. team, but
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Is Pathway, like, you know, them being top 12, not surprising. Them being second is massive. Which again, it's SendouQ points, so it just means that they were on the grind. They played, and there is a strategy to it. You play the right tournaments. You know, you queue at the right times to play against the right people, and you know, it's not totally unrealistic for them to get second place in the leaderboard, but are they actually going to be a second place team in the actual event is the real question.
I'd
probably
say
not.
top 5 at the minimum.
Yeah.
I think so. Top 5 probably would be at the minimum for them. But I mean, as you know, because it is SendouQ points, but at least we shouldn't be surprised to see like the likes of Grace Riptide pick up FT win. Obviously they have PXG plus Goss and Reiki, making it to the fray there. I think so. 5th and 6th, I think, wasn't adjusted since the breaking news kind of happened in the middle of that. But yeah, Pathway. But yeah, I do want to talk real quickly about Pathway. There were some seeing them in that second place, in the second, at least for SendouQ points, is pretty remarkable to see at least. But I think Hammy, you are pretty much right there. I think just being on the grind there for the most part, and just being able to get the points that they need to get to second place was key for the group. Excuse me, dying over here. All right, so you also have the you also have we're gonna jump a little bit ahead here. CKK, we got the 6 a.m. Team that excuse me, featured Fantar, KitKat, Ponacer. This is actually a team I don't think that I'm familiar with, but I have recognized Fantar and KitKat on this group, and I think I commented a set that had Fantar in the mix during Super Jump when I did day 1 with Fusion, and from what I remember, Fantar's group, Fantar as a player, they were very solid, but this 6 a.m. team made it to SendouQ, barring any last minute shenanigan changes that happens live. I think I'm actually gonna be intrigued by how 6 a.m. performs when they get if they were to accept their invitation.
So these are all pretty like veteran Splatoon 3 players. KitKat, part of that Tame and Yawn team that just won Squid Junction 100. Pooley, Acer, and Fantar, I believe, all played on Penguin in like early Splatoon 3 when that team is qualifying for the InkTV Resurgence League. Acer, really strong support player. Fantar is a like very good slosher. They're all super strong players. I think this is the first time, like this season is the first time this group has been like a team or like a consistent group. But you kind of can't. I wouldn't say you could, especially given that a KitKat team just like won against FT Win and against Gray. I don't think you can count this team out for top 4. But I also would imagine or expect they would lose to FT Win and Voilecte and probably like Frutella or something. I haven't seen them play enough tournaments where I could like be confident about that, but they have like the firepower.
It's actually going to be a team I would be intrigued to see how their performance goes when it comes to the season finale there. So that'll be my interesting read. I'm trying to make sense of the 6th place team, by the way, that features Lidl. Their with PSG, Paris Saint. I cannot speak French. I'm not even going to try on that one. But that one, you go ahead.
The Wowo, guys, Eliasmo. I know him by name, but like not by as much. But like I think relatively long career, high level player. Little, also French from Uprising. Glash again. I know most people don't know who Glash is. I think just because they haven't been active for much of Splatoon 3, since like Uprising, or they haven't been active like in the last year as a ton, like in 2025 because Uprising hasn't been as active. But really, really good L3 player. Just pretty good in general. Dragib is an insanely mechanically skilled slusher. Like, has better slusher mechanics than like pretty much any other slusher. Like he's up there with like maybe better than Miner, just like sheer mechanical level. And Miner might be like one of the most mechanics heavy slushers in North America. I think Jordan, like mechanically peak, might be better, but like Dragib, super mechanically skilled. You should go watch this montage. But the team as a whole, I would say like I wouldn't expect to do anything impressive. It'll be cool to watch them. Dragib like made waves on like Stas along with their 10th player a while back. So it'll be, I think this is an interesting team. I don't expect them to make a crazy run, but like I could see them beating HFG. Like they could maybe like they could have like, I don't think they'll make top 4. They might be like a 2-3 or 3-2 team.
I'd be very much intrigued on how PSG plays out. So I was originally going to run through the segment that talks about EasyMD, and then we have what the mysterious point loss, which I think we finally came down to Barnacle Bash reporting. So I'm trying to make sense of what we could do here. I guess we could talk about the bold predictions, and I guess CKK, we gotta include Moonlight, I guess, somewhere in the mix. We will just do we'll have the scuff top 13 tier list. How do you feel about that there later, CK?
Yeah, let's do it. You know, top 13. You're including both of them. Also,
we cannot have.
I just wanted to mention at the beginning of the stream, Fern was like, "How come I don't see Barnacle Bash in anybody's SendouQ results?"
That's right. That's why.
That's right. They didn't actually.
I think it's impressive that the Barnacle Bash TOs took 5 days to have the results take effect.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Splat World Series. How Splat World Series is, you can't see it on people's results because it's technically not concluded.
Yeah, I'm so annoyed by that. Like it's, but
why is it not concluded?
Because
they didn't play Grands. Like they just left Grands at like, FT Win versus Moonlight or Frutella versus New Meta, and they didn't play them out because they didn't need to because it was just top 2 qualify. So they didn't play Grands.
I thought you meant the actual like SWS
stupid as hell.
Final.
Yeah,
no,
finals fine.
Yeah, okay.
Right, it's like at that point you just mark the last set as a draw or 0-0. Like you already know that they've just insta qualified at that point to final. So I guess we'll include the rare top 13 thing, but we gotta talk about that later. We got some predictions, or I guess bold predictions, if you will, here. So if I'm not mistaken, ZK, all of us in the panel submitted who would win the season finale. Leading up to it, if we do have the team available, that would be. Thanks for the drum roll there, very much so. And 2 people here have PXG. That would be Hammy and Fern. Myself and Mystic with basically the Milky Way pickup. I mean,
yep. Voilecte.
Voilecte.
I can confirm.
Not even trying with the French.
I'm not even trying.
Yeah, Voilecte.
Yeah, I'm in. I DM'd the Yump, who's the TO for Barnacle Bash, and they said they haven't looked at it since they got the results since Monday. So, or since Monday. So, I don't know. It seems like, and like, yeah, we couldn't. I don't know. That's very strange. I don't know what SendouQ's gonna do about that.
That is probably. Hey, we caught it all live in Splat chat today.
Maybe that's why there's no teams listed yet for the SendouQ finale.
It could be, but I don't think that's the reason. I think the invites would have already been sent out.
Yeah, I think they're manually added anyway, aren't they? Like they're not just
yeah they are
slotted in. Yeah, so
I guess I'll start my prediction. It's not really a bold prediction, really, but I think it's going to be hard to stop the gray train. That's pretty much my reason why I had I'm just gonna keep saying the Milky Way pick up. Also because I'm tired, because I won't be able to get the team right anyway. For that one, Mystic, you're on the same boat as me apparently with this prediction.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like counter argument. The train
Like,
crashed into the Squid Junction.
Yeah, I was going to say the Gray train just halted, like the worst it's ever halted a couple days ago. Not even a podium again. Like that was Gray's whole thing was, he's won every single tournament, and then I think like in his statement where he's like, yeah, like the only 2 tournaments I've lost in the last like year or whatever were both second places. So this is a major upset in terms of his track record for the last like year or so. And like they're still going to be a top contender. Don't get me wrong. Like Avoy Lactate, like Gray, Brand, Q, and Jared, like they're making grands pretty much guaranteed. I just kind of like the look of Goss, Solja, Noah, and Raiki myself. What I'm also scared of is the fact that none of us voted for FT Win, so this might just mean that FT Win's gonna take home the grand the
I don't
season
know. I think FT Win doesn't win majors. They get second and third.
FT1's just been
me
FT1
personally,
just
I think FT1 is like kind of in the third best like slot right now, like in terms of like, teams. Like I will say that because like if we're like talking about like just overall like Western power and like spoilers for like like power rankings, like if we're talking about overall like Western power, you have Gray that's so far above like everybody else. Jordan, who's up there with him, and then like FT Win's like just slightly, like just ever so slightly below. Like FT Win can like kind of compete, but like not to the point where like they can just like do anything. But I will say this, like FT Win is kind of like in the third or the fourth best like kind of slot because like if like Goss like ends up forming like alongside Metro as an example, FT Win goes straight down to the 4th slot. Like just no like questions asked about that. Like it just like they just go straight down to the 4th slot because Goss, like Atomic, Zenith, like those players like cause FT Win to have an extremely hard time.
I will say I think Metro really didn't perform super well in Super Jump. I mean like with Volti Silver, but I think the Zenith Yosho core is not what they were a year ago when they were clearly the best team in the West. But and like I think like if Sam just locks in a little like and Bursty like recalls his like true power, like maybe like it's conceivable that they win the tournament, but they have to actually prove that they can beat those teams, that they can beat Milky Way and beat like PXG or the PXG core before we can be like, yeah, they're gonna be like a Grands like Game 7 Grands like winning team. Like I don't really see them winning at this moment. Like I think they don't have they have Sam and that's like all the firepower.
The toughest thing for me to also justify FT Win is I think the last big dub they had, you could make the argument for Squid Junction 94, but also in the Zone 42, they had a solid streak of first place finishes. They also had one SendouQ season 4 finale way back in the day, but then it's been kind of around that second or third place, hovering in some recent results there as well. So it's like it's going to be hard to make the justification to put FT1 up there, but obviously, now that we say it out loud, they'll probably end up having the tournament of their lives, possibly coming up for the season finale too. So it's like, I think for me, that's kind of the reason why I didn't put FT1 quite up there in that winner slot yet. The ultimate question is who would be able to contest against Gray, even if the train stopped at Squid Junction 100. I think they will find its way back to boot. Gray's team will find a way to boot themselves back up again.
Yeah, if you take Gray and Jordan out of the equation, like it's literally just like what should we call it? Free eats for like FT Win. Like they just beat like anything.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Although they have been like, I mean, Moonlight was I believe Moonlight pushed them to a game 5 like once or twice recently. Like, they're certainly fallible, and I don't think they're like on the level of the Gray, like the PXG core yet. But I feel like there's still, it's like this team's probably going to make top 4, especially
Yeah.
without Vanguard and like without
Yeah.
those other like top 4 border gatekeeper teams. I feel like they're like, it's kind of hard to say they aren't going to make top 4 at least.
Yeah, that's gonna be the interesting read I have. Otherwise, I think PXG. I wouldn't be shocked if PXG does win first as well, but that's gonna be the ultimate question for when game time arrives for the season finale there. So that's that. We do have that tier list. So throwback to when
Oh, yeah.
Hammy and Fern we did the tier list back for the season finale. Mystic is our vapor fill-in, I suppose, for that throwback. So welcome to the board. This is gonna be, so we weren't kidding when he said it was gonna be top 13 because we broke the news originally. Okay, Moonlight's gonna be it was the last one in, and then of course with Barnacle Bash getting reported in, EZMD drops 20 points. So in the event that the invites are already out, we'll include top 13. We'll just include Moonlight for the sake of argument. But I think everybody's gonna be aligned with where Moonlight's gonna end up placing here. For the if we do have that tier list available, CK, that would be ideal. Otherwise, if not, I'll ask real quickly. You guys, who do you think would be your top 4 teams to round out your SendouQ finale top cut?
See, for me, the top 3 or 3 of the top 4 is pretty simple. I think we can all agree. Voilecte, the PXG pickup, like with Reiki, and then FT win. Like that's your top 3. Does anyone have any like objections to that?
No, they're not
No.
objection.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, like that's the most realistic option. So my big question is, who is rounding at the top 4? Because that's kind of a toss-up in my opinion.
Yeah. In my mind, you have like 2 probable options, and it's Frutella, or maybe like 2 to 3 probable options, and it's like Frutella or the Synapse team or like 6 a.m. I don't think Moonlight's gonna make it, especially depending on what group they get. I don't think, if given Pathway's not playing, and even if they were, I don't know if they're beating the Synapse team or the Kit Kat team. So I would say the most like safe guess is Frutella.
I will know when we did the first when we did the first tier list rankings or power rankings. We also this was also done without groups. Obviously, with the points kind of rapidly changing, I think we can throw the groups idea out the window. We just want, I think, gain what we think would be top 4 would be fine for the sake of argument. Just to chime in on that. Hammy, what's up?
No, I was surprised actually that CKK mentioned the Synapse team for top 4, because I feel like earlier you were saying that the Synapse team wasn't going to perform that well because you're mentioning how Fishy hasn't had as many highest like top level results, and even like Hypernova didn't. How did Hypernova perform in season 7? Like they weren't.
I believe, did they?
They
No,
came ninth.
Yeah, they came ninth.
True.
Yeah,
but they did have some good sets.
Yeah, that's it. Don't get me wrong. Like Synapse, Henlo, Fishy, and Captain Happy. Like I want them to succeed. Those are some players that have kicked my butt, and those are players that I have enjoyed watching. But I don't know if they beat out Frutella. And again, I'm not very familiar with any of the people from the 6 a.m. team, but from how you guys have kind of gassed them up a bit, like it seems like they would even be a better top 4 pick than the Hypernova pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard to think Hypernova's gonna crack top 4. If anything, they'd probably just squeak out at like the 5th or 6th slot. I think I'm more sold on Frutella than Hypernova personally, but that would have been me. That would have been me on that force for that 4th slot for sure. But I think the universal agreement was we kind of know what the top 3 is, and I think you could make the argument that the half Hypernova pickup could actually perform. That's probably going to be. I think that's going to really depend on a lot of factors. Obviously, with a lot of things in flux, I think things would just have to go right, in my opinion, for the half Hypernova pickup to do well. which probably means that they will do well, and I'm going to be wrong here in just a few moments. That's usually how it goes.
Wait, who are we putting in first, or are you guys not there yet? Sorry.
No, well, we know what top 3 is. It's
okay.
Royal Day.
Okay,
It's
so I'll
actually
just
putting them
put these
in
at first.
order.
I'll put these all at first, and then I'll let you guys like debate. Or you guys also wanted this to be possibly up there. You guys have to debate it down.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing to say. Around the 5th to 9th slots again. With what we know, I think even with Pathway participate or not, I could have made the argument that Pathways kind of would have originally made top 4, but I think with all the unknowns, and I don't know if they were gonna fall against some of the better ones. I think I would put Pathway actually probably more in the 5th slot personally, but I'm not sure what you guys think.
I'm not familiar enough with Pathway, honestly, to even know where I would put them. They're one of those.
I mean, I know
under the radar for me.
Carbon player, like they've been going on a flipping tear. Like especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going.
Pathway to me, like, Spec, very good stamper. We know them from Torrent. Bonk, I believe Bonk was at the top of our like kill stat, like kills per something stat. For I think one of the qualifiers. Bonk is insane. Like Bonk is a freak on rollers. Mondi is like a super consistent junior player. They were in Div 1 with Inxels Maria last season. Zekrom I don't know as much, but like pretty solid like European backline. And they have been on a tear recently. Like Pathway is like they've won a bunch of weekly tournaments, they've podiumed a bunch of weekly tournaments, like they're kind of sweeping up like EU weeklies this summer. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them take some really good sets. I don't think they're a playoffs team, but if they do play the event, I think they can do super well. Or like do better than like a lot of people might think based on like their name recognition.
And they're rumored to possibly not participate given certain news behind the scenes from what it sounds like. That's definitely fair there. What about the other teams you have in that tier list? This is gonna be odd. So I think if I remember, we would have to put the 4 in the 5th place slot. Could you make the argument here that healthy diet food groups could be within that 5th to 9th slot?
I don't believe in them personally.
Fair.
I'd put healthy diet food groups for me as much as I want to put them tied for 5th. I think they will tie for 9th. They're just I feel like it's been quiet from them as of recent.
Yeah, that I noticed too.
I hate to break it to Moonlight. I don't think there's any. You would have to be in the 5th or 9th slot. I was the person that originally put them in the 9th of the previous prediction. I think I'm comfortable putting them in the 5th slot now. But I'm not sure
I mean they came 5th last season, didn't they?
Yeah,
so,
around that 5th slot.
Yeah, like that makes sense. Like, there's no way they get top 4. Like, I don't think.
No,
I mean, I called Frutella inconsistent, but I don't think that they would beat out like Frutella or a team of that caliber for the 4th place slot. They're definitely. I think they're going to give them a run for their money, especially with some of the recent performance from some of the Moonlight members in pickups. But I can't justify putting them anywhere higher than 5th.
And that's just more or less just because the teams that are very much top 4. It's pretty clear cut what three of the 4 are at that point. It's just gonna be a tough competition.
It has just occurred to me that there's more rankings. There's like a 7th and 11th. Oh God!
What do you mean?
Because of how the groups work. Because of how the groups work. So there's actually like a 7th here.
Oh, we got to put more effort into thinking about this now.
It's because of set wins within their groups. The issue though, CK, is one, we don't know what the groups is, and two, we don't even know the teams that qualified because of the sudden change at the last
Yeah,
minute. So
that's
always gonna
true.
be
Yeah,
tough.
didn't that happen to us last time we did this prediction?
It
where
very
was-
much did.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why
It was a group of death, and so it was just completely skewed our
Yeah.
prediction. So yeah,
I think the fifth and ninth positions, like where you think they'll barely where they'll barely miss the cut, and then the teams that for sure will not make the cut at
I'm
at
fine
all,
with
like
that.
bottom.
I'm also
Yeah,
cool
They'll
with that.
probably not. With all the unknowns, we probably don't want to try to complicate that a little bit further.
and I feel like this is fine because realistically, like the disparity between again like fifth or seventh isn't really that much because it's like
it's one set win.
we're looking at top 4 individual placements, and then the bottom half is kind of split into did you get stomped or did you have potential. So there's the fifth place.
I agree with that.
Ninth place group, yeah. So
And that's kind of how I saw it. Is like the fifth place group is basically you had the potential. You just need to eke out another set win or an upset. But you're definitely on our radar. In the ninth place is like, well, you get a participation trophy basically. Welcome to SendouQ. At that point, no, I think I agree with you so far with where the placements are. I heard you guys. So heavy metal fans here, not of the genre but of the team. Where do you guys place them? That's kind of where I'm not sure where I would put heavy metal at. Do they actually have potential, or would they or is it like they're sort of likely to get ran out of the building?
I mean, I think they're likely to get smashed.
Fair.
I say like they made Alpha Bracket in Super Jump, and they did, and they beat Black Lotus to get there, and it was rad. But they did get like I think very promptly too low. So I feel like it is as the new like upstart team in the rankings. Like last season we had like Artifice, this season we have heavy metal. Like I think it's kind of only fair, as is our custom, to put them at the last place. But I don't want them to get last place. Like I hope wholeheartedly that they can take sets. But I think it's like it kind of only makes sense for them as like the team that doesn't have this experience. That kind of does Alpha Bracket Super Jump, but like doesn't have the experience winning in these situations, like to be just in our last seed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was gonna say that same thing. Is heavy metal is the Artifice / Parasail this season. They're the new kids on the block in terms of actually being like. Are any of them returning to the SendouQ finale? Have any of them qualified previously?
Like Parasail? Or
No. I'm saying for heavy metal. Have any of the 4 of
I
them
don't
qualified?
think so.
Because
I'm guessing
I don't
not.
think
They're
so.
all like relatively new.
They're all like relatively newish high level couple players. Sora was like
so
Sora was kind of in the level
feel
of health
like
forever.
This is going to be the scenario where like their goal is just to not get completely stomped. Any game wins or set wins are huge for them. And like I'm the same kind of sentiment where like I want them to succeed. I love it when the new teams succeed and show growth, and like we can see like okay, there's new people, especially with them actually being newer players who are at the top level. You want to see them succeed, but they don't have the tenure quite yet to really take a lot from some of these other teams. So I definitely put them tied for 9th. But like a top 5 would be, or not like a top 5, but tied for 5th would be massive.
Basically, right around that middling ground where they really must have got to have the high potential. I think that would be a great result for them, for the new kids on the block there for heavy metal. We have PSG, we have 6 a.m. And then Blanks and PSG. I'm actually gonna go talk about Blanks because that is a team that is established. I'm a little torn with this group. I probably would put them in the getting ran out of the building slot. That's the 9th place slot, but that might I could see the argument that they have potential. Not sure what your guys' thoughts are.
Honestly, I think the same. Like I genuinely think like heavy metal like really just needs like a game. Like if they take a game, like that's like more than enough. Like they're like on the rise. We might have some new top players inbound, and like that is like very, very exciting of a future for me.
I feel like depending on groups, they could take a set if they had a good day. At least. I'm coping, but like at least.
For
Yeah.
blanks, though, I'm a little. I kind of jumped up at blanks, so apologies
Okay.
on that. But it's like I don't know. There's a reality where they can hit
Okay.
the fifth place slot. Yeah,
I don't think they'll make 5th place, but I don't want to sleep on blanks. Like I think they're kind of underrated right now. Like really like they play really kind of wacky comps a little bit, but like have managed to have like pretty good results on it. Like they're pretty consistent, like podium, like winners, like EU weeklies. They basically sweep every German team at this point that isn't named Frutella. They're not like a major caliber team, like major like winning team. But like they're another team where I feel like they take a set or two and then just like get smoked by the top level players. But I think they take a set. At
Yeah,
least.
I don't know how to feel about blanks because I've commentated them before and I could watch them play, and it's I don't have any consistent enough feelings about them because I could see a scenario where they kind of get like the bottom of that cusp with the top 5 or like the 5th place tie, but I think for me there are too many teams in this top 12 that I don't have enough information on to really kind of compare and contrast them. So it seems difficult for me to put them higher than 9th, just because I think that there are 8 other teams here that I think will perform better.
I think a 9th is pretty fair. I know a lot of these players, I know most of these teams, but it's just like I don't know how they're gonna match up to each other.
I think that's ultimately going to be the unknown for me. I think that's going to be the unknown for me. Is just how the matchups are going to play out, especially with only what we know so far. These 3 teams, I know we have the EZMD top 13 problem that we got going on over here, but I mean, we're gonna have to put them somewhere. I don't know who out of these 3 would be on the 9th place slot. Because
Paris.
keep in mind that 5th and 9th can have 5 teams because of what we have for the top 13.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Paris, I would imagine is
HDFG.
Say again?
Honestly, like might be HDFG. For me, at least.
Sure. But what about the other 3 teams you have left? We have EZMD, 6am, and PSG.
Honestly, like for me, I'd put 6am 5th, and then I put PSG and EZMD if they qualify both in 9th. Like that's kind of my thoughts here. Is that like in my head, it's like EZMD again if they're playing again. Now they're 13th with a big question mark.
Yep.
And then who do we have here? Yeah, so EZMD, blanks, heavy metal, and HDFG and PSG. Like those 5 teams are kind of that caliber of they deserve to be in SendouQ finals, but I don't see them beating the 8 other teams that just have been playing better, in my opinion.
I think this will be fair. I think what we have here is pretty fair, to be honest.
Yeah.
EZMD, I'm pulling hairs for EZMD making up to 5th. So in that case, it's not like that's not a big jump for me if we go into that discussion.
9th technically only has 4 slots, so one does have to go.
I mean, they shouldn't even. I don't think EZMD. Well, EZMD would still qualify for this tournament if Pathway doesn't play it.
Well, and the reason why it was a top 13 slot is because we were ready to not include Moonlight into the rankings.
Yeah, that's right.
The Barnacle Bash, Bash moment happens. That's why we have the top 13.
Yeah, because technically, if Moonlight or Pathway, which are both top 5 teams, don't play, then maybe EZMD could get bumped up because they're probably at the top of the 9th place tie. So they're in that weird middle ground where they kind of get bumped up if one of those teams doesn't play. But like I wouldn't put them above any of those other teams. So it really depends on it depends on who qualifies. It's hard to tell when we have 12 teams that might play or 13 teams that might play in 12 spots total.
And of course, we don't know the invitations were sent out before that Barnacle Bash result actually reflected.
Oh my god! Sorry, I'm just looking at Kiki's results tab. But anyway, I don't think ECMD.
You're not
I
gonna
just like
elaborate.
scroll down this tab, but like
You can't leave us hanging like this here, Fern.
See,
ECMD. Kiki has a very long list of goals in their highlights. But
see, it's a long list of goals. It's also impossible to read.
ECM, yeah, I know, terrible color combo. We gotta have a setting for that. But ECMD, I think these players, Kiki is like the weekly farmer of all time. Hold on, let me pull like the full list up again of that team. Silver, really, really good. Best stamper in France. Kinda. Like Devin is really good leader. SendouQ is fine. Good, like okay. I have no idea what SendouQ plays. It seems SendouQ doesn't know. Flex. So, like, it's a good team. I don't think they win in majors. Like, I kind of just think they don't. I don't think they have recently. I don't think they beat like these other really strong teams. Like, if they meet them in this setting, I could be wrong. Like, they could show up and like stomp like half this bracket, but I don't know. It doesn't.
Yep.
Like, I don't think they are looking at the best shot, especially like with especially given the fact that they might not even actually play.
We do need to get stuff moving right along here, so that we can get people to their commitments here.
Right.
Let's get the let's get the rest of this line up here. I'll ask you a really quick question: Frutella or the Synapse Henlo pickup? Who
think
doesn't make top
Frutella.
4?
Who doesn't?
I
I think Synapse.
Who doesn't?
Yeah,
Synapse.
I agree with that. I think it's Frutella 4th.
Mystic, Mystic, you agree with Synapse getting not making top 4? If Mystic's there, doesn't look like it. All right. We'll move right along there. Frutella in that third slot. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. Who doesn't make the grand? Who doesn't make it to grands out of the top 3 that we have?
I think FD Win doesn't make it a grands.
Yeah,
I gotta prove.
The fact that none of us put FT win as our bold prediction, and the fact that I mean, I said that maybe FT wins because none of us voted for them, but everybody had
Right.
reason that they wouldn't win. So
Granted.
I'm waiting for the FT win comeback, especially because like I know we're looking at SendouQ 8. I'm looking at Riptide where FT win and Voyelacte are both playing. So I'm looking. I want to see what
Yeah.
happens in SQ 8 so that they can have the run back live in person on
Yeah,
the land. That's
and-
going to be hype.
Here's the thing: is like
That'd be awesome.
if FT Win gets a good bracket, if they play Frutella or they play someone else in semis, they totally could make grands. But they have to get like gifted that. I don't think they're of the caliber where it's like we expect them to make grands just based on like beating like other top teams.
We'll have to see how the
want-
we'll have to. Yep.
I want FT Win to win just so that we have the best storyline possible, I think, here. But putting him at 3rd is the most realistic option.
Quick rapid fire debate here. Out of Voyelacte and Goss's pickup, who's 1st and 2nd respectively?
As much as it
Oh.
pains me, Voyelacte takes 1st.
Nah, I'm holding out for Goss.
I want to hold out for Goss, but I
need-
think at the end of the day, like objectively, we have to put them 2nd. But when they win, we get to say "I told you so."
That's the best player in Michigan. And that guy, let's get him another
God.
major.
Goss gets 2nd. That's my conclusion. Goss pickups or
Yeah,
PXG's
like
pickup
this-
gets 2nd.
Yeah, this tier list makes sense to me. Like there's nothing here that I look at and go, "Why is that the case?"
Nope.
Like this.
No, I don't have any controversies with this list. Fern or Mystic, any last comments with this tier list before we stamp this and say, heck, we're gonna be ball?
I think it is the most reasonable tier list, even though I want PXG to win with all my heart.
Oh my god. All right, that's our power rankings again. Top 13 because of the Barnacle Bash results. We'll have to see what the top 12 slots are. We got people that need to get the heck out of here. I'm actually gonna go with Hammy first with the plugs, but before we sign off, Hammy, where can the people find you?
You can find me basically everywhere. Hammy in the Wall is full legal name. Most importantly, you'll find me on Blue Sky at hitw.inc. That's where I post too many shenanigans, and I just kind of do all kinds of stuff. So go check me out.
All right, and I'll free you real quickly if you need to get going. So, Fern, where can the people find you?
I am just at remixfern.bsky as social on Blue Sky and remixfern_nautilus on YouTube, where I post about aim training. You should go watch my aim training videos. But yeah, those are my
Do we have Earth to Mystic here? Is Mystic reporting around?
Uh,
No, the answer is no. All right, well, Earth to Mystic cannot be reported. Well, you guys can find me in Kiln2570 Blue Sky and Twitter and Twitch. Hopefully, I'll get back to streaming before Riptide. Thanks, CKK, for being a producer. We're gonna get the heck out of here so we can get some rest, and somebody has to head over to a scrim here soon. So, on behalf of everybody, this has been Splat Chat episode 14. We will see you potentially when the next time we see you guys again.